Weber is in an interesting situation. He has a lot going for him, but he usually gets overshadowed by the simpleness of other characters. And this is mostly due to the fact that all of Weber's power is tied solely to a group of creatures in the game. Weber is a spider, and because of that he inherits the traits of a spider. He has slightly higher HP and hunger than most of the cast, but half the sanity, being the second lowest next to Wes. He is able to eat meat without any health or sanity loss, and produce silk that provides small insulation in winter. He also gets attacked by mobs that hate spiders. Weber by himself is pretty simple but very hard to actually start with. His health and hunger help out new players, however his sanity will really hurt them because he will go insane much sooner than normal players. And if you're not good at combating nightmares, there is trouble. I found that playing as Weber I fought more terror beaks than I normally do as a normal player. And that's because of how sanity works. Sanity works on a percent system. Once your sanity reaches a certain percent, things happen. A lot of it cosmetic, however towards the lower end of the spectrum, mobs will start to spawn and become hostile. At 15%, normally just one crawling horror is around and becomes aggressive. Players normally would be able to deal with them quickly and become sane. But with Weber, since he has a lower max sanity, he reaches the threshold for Terrorbeak spawning, allowing for 2 nightmares to spawn before he can even become sane. This can either be a curse or a blessing based on how you like to play. But because of this, Weber needs to maintain himself a lot more than usual compared to other characters. Good thing is that all the drops spiders provide are also useful to Weber. You got meat for hunger, glands for health, and silk for sanity. Many will see the Great Weber Wars and have multiple chests full of spider loot drops. Just make sure your sound effects are lowered, otherwise you won't be able to hear anything beyond the spider screeching. Weber's main gameplay comes from being able to command spiders. You start with the nest, a few meat, and the webby whistle, so that way you can begin your army. The whistle is probably the most important item in Weber's kit because it allows the player to really control the army, because without it, everything can divulge into chaos really quickly. You can use it to take spiders out of their home to quickly befriend them, prevent them from eating drops, and call them back to you in a fight so that way you can coordinate attacks on enemies, because together, spider strong. Spider nests are also upgradable, each taking 5 silk per level, and can be shaven with a razor to give 1 silk and reducing the level of the spider nest. You're also able to destroy nests this way, however the spiders inside will be mad at Weber. There is also the den decoration kit, which makes spiders ferment friendly to players that are not Weber. It will also cause the den to not upgrade based on whatever stage it was placed on. Each den has its own radius in which it keeps spiders friendly. You can actually see when spiders pop in and out of the friendly radius if you watch them for some time. But if the den or a spider gets attacked by anything near, the nest will revert back to its normal self. This is kind of annoying. There is a range where dens won't revert, so you can set them up as permanent spider farms, but I kinda wish they didn't do this. When you feed a spider any meat, you will befriend a spider and 2 others that are nearby. These spiders will stay friendly forever because spiders don't have a timer, unlike other mobs. While they're befriended, you can pick them up and transport them easily. This is useful for caves because spiders won't follow you down there, and any in your inventory will also keep their friendship. When spiders are befriended, there are 2 stances they can take, aggressive and defensive. Aggressive is their default stance. During this, they will stay further away from Weber and won't follow as closely. They will also be able to eat meat that is dropped on the ground. To change stances to defensive, you can blow the webby whistle. This causes spiders to return back to Weber, and for 10 seconds the spiders will not retaliate against any damage that the spiders take. They will only ever attack during these 10 seconds if Weber commands them to. During their defensive stance, spiders will have a shorter tether to Weber, meaning they will move to get closer sooner than aggressive spiders. They also won't eat anything that's on the ground. Spiders will break out of the defensive stance when they or Weber gets attacked, and when Weber does a full action command. They won't break out if you cancel an action command, only whenever you do a committed attack to something. You can actually use this to farm meat from things that will die instantly to the horde. Because you're not actually doing a full action commit, they will stay in defensive mode and not eat the drops. If the spiders get hit though, they will become aggressive and eat everything. There is also some strange things that happen when a world is relaunched or reloaded. You can have a big army on one side and reload the world, and then your army will be much smaller. Maybe this is just a memory thing. You can remove the friendship with the shoebox. This is mostly when you want to do things that spiders get in the way for, like building and such. Weber is not much without his spiders, and each one has their own specialties that they excel in. This basic spider is actually one of the higher damaging spiders since it has one of the higher attack speeds compared to the other spiders. You can see how a regular spider does more attacks over time than say a warrior or a spitter. They are tied with cave spiders and shattered spiders in attack speed. However, regular spiders are much easier to mass than these other types of spiders. The only problem is that they are frail and won't last for certain fights. Warrior spiders are the next spider you'll likely see since they come from standard spider dens. They have 400 HP and also a lunge attack, but they attack slower than most of the spiders. They are the easiest tanky spider to achieve. A way you can get more warrior spiders is to actually take advantage of the spider den's emergency spider mechanic. At tier 2 and even 3, if a spider den is empty, there is an emergency spider that will spawn whenever a player is near the spider nest. This number increases based on the amount of players, and you can get a lot of warrior spiders from a single nest. Warriors have the first potential interaction with the webby whistle because if you have enough of them, you could potentially do a hit and run tactic with their lunge attack as a way to protect them from more dangerous enemies. The final spider from regular spider dens are nurse spiders. Nurse spiders only ever spawn from spider queens, which spawn from spider dens that have stayed tier 3 for too long, or with a small chance from haunting a tier 3 nest. You can force these early if you have a revive nearby. Nurse spiders are Weber's win button. They are tanky but only do 10 damage. The main thing is though, every 8 seconds they will do a heal blast that heals all spiders for 150 HP and Weber for 8 HP. If you have enough, you can basically tank anything as Weber. And since spiders are carryable, you can keep them with you at all times. You can straight up just have them attack another friendly spider, pick up the spider, and you just get healed. These things are just too damn strong for what they are, and that's why they're the only spider you can reliably access by using the switcher doodles. Any other switcher doodle is not worth it, at least until late game. I personally don't like the switcher doodles. I feel like they're a band-aid fix and I would rather have Weber be able to craft spider dens that the spiders come from, but this is just what we have for now and hopefully we'll get that for later. Next are the spiders you have to go out and find. Spitters, cave spiders, dwellers, water striders, and shattered spiders. First, the cave spiders. One would think these would be amazing because they can hide and tank a lot of damage while nurses heal. But this just doesn't work since most mobs will change aggro to whoever is attacking, meaning the non-attacking tank spider is not tanking. Cave spiders are basically a slightly tankier regular spider that loses damage because they hide. They are great for distractions though. Next are spitters. These are fun, and they also have decent HP too. They have some of the higher damage because of their range attack having a lower cooldown than their standard attacks. These take a lot of management to really maximize though, because if you don't, they will run closer to the enemy and lower their damage output. They also risk their lives doing this. They are the ultimate in hit and run tactics because of the range attack. You can basically make a firing squad against any enemy, so long as they don't have range to fight back. Depth Dwellers are next. Many would think that Depth Dwellers are actually the same as Spider Warriors, and for the most part they are, but they're slightly different in that their attack rate is slightly faster than Spider Warriors. They have a variable attack rate between 4 and 6, making them at least do slightly more damage per second than Warrior Spiders. But other than that, they don't really have anything special other than design. They are just warrior spiders that you can collect in the ruins and the blue mush biome. Sea striders are slightly stronger regular spiders that can move on water. These are great for sailing defense just because they take out any random spawns like narwhals, sharks, and pirates. And I just think they're neat. And finally, for the most damaging spider, these are the shattered spiders. They have a 25 damage bite and are fairly tanky as well. They are the best general spider for swarming, but they're not as common since they only exist on the Moon Island. These spiders are interesting because they have two forms of attack, the bite and their spike attack. The spike attack is interesting because it can damage twice. First time on coming up and again when it breaks. But oftentimes it doesn't hit creatures and it's just a wasted attack. These spiders, however, are really great against creatures that have large hurt boxes. Toadstool is the best example, as if you have a lot of these types of spiders, you can quickly kill him in about a minute. There are also some Weber-centric tricks that I don't think people really know about, and I'll share a couple with you here. One being that if you have a rabbit in your inventory, you drop it and pick it back up again, you'll be able to trigger spider nests as Weber. I like to use this in the ruins because then you can easily get a lot of depth dwellers without having to spam your whistle. If you attack a creature and you have friendly spiders in your inventory, those friendly spiders are always aggressive towards the creature, no matter how far away you get. The way you use spiders and their resources are the main aspect of Weber. How you control them will prove how well you do in conflicts. The combination of a webby whistle and range weapons are really important for Weber. I highly suggest if you play him, invest in holding an ice staff or a boomerang. Being able to command your spiders from range and also call them back does wonders, and it's only a skill that Weber can achieve. Most mobs are just brain dead where they run into the enemy and keep getting closer, causing them to die. But as Weber, you're actually able to maintain how well your army thrives. However, I wish he was able to do a bit more. There are ways to make him a more interesting combat character than just swarming and hit and run. I think it would be fun to be able to partition your army and make barracks for each of the spider types. Because Lord knows cave spiders and spitters usually go extinct in a world where people are trying to rush Field Weaver, purely because their nests have a guaranteed chance of spawning fossil fragments. Just something that can give Weber easier access to build himself up. That's really the only change I had for him. Weber makes you feel like a general. He is more than just a minion character, and because of that, Weber's playstyle is confusing to standard players. There is just so much you have to do with Weber that he may not be fit for most playstyles. But if you really work to understand and give Weber a shot, we can turn this indigestible character into one that's gourmet. Thank you everyone for watching. That's the Weber video. I hope you enjoyed the small analysis of Weber. He is certainly interesting and he makes you have to tackle problems in a different way, which I always think is fun. Give him a chance and go make some spider armies. Till next time, this has been Terra, and take care.